Alright, so real quick, obviously been a few days. Um, I want to apologize to everybody. I haven't been answering comments on that video I put up about my wreck. Not because I haven't felt like answering comments, but I got the video uploading. It went up, and I think I looked at it right before it went up, or right before I went to bed, and I think it had like 30 comments. Which at that point I probably should start answering the comments right there to start knocking the pile down, but I didn't think it was going to blow up as much as it did. And then when I woke up the next morning, it had 190, 195 comments. I was like, whoa. So I've been reading all of them. You guys have had a lot of good stories to share. It's kind of amazing how many of you guys have been in the same situation. I didn't realize I had this many guys watching me that have worked or are working third shifts and farming at the same time. So apparently that's the thing. Apparently farmers work third shift. But there's been a lot of guys shared a lot of stories about how they've had very similar or worse consequences. Lots of guys have wrecked their trucks. Lots of guys have fallen asleep and ended up in the ditch. One guy said that he lost his son at 17 years old when I can't even talk about that. That's bad. There isn't any parent should ever outlive their kid. That's a bad situation. So the guy that left that comment, sorry for your loss. That's terrible. That's a little bit of a wake up call on. That should be a little bit of a wake up call on everybody's part, not just that. That's worse than, yeah. I can't even talk about that. That's not even fun to think about. So anyway, like I say, sorry for not answering them comments. I've read every single one of them. You guys are great. Lots of words of support, lots of understanding, lots of well wishes. I can't thank you guys enough for that. It makes you feel like you're a little bit less alone in the situation. Not that anybody, I've had plenty of support from home too, but it's just I can't even begin to express how awesome you guys are as a community. So thank you for that. Like I say, I'm sorry I haven't answered the comments personally. It just they got so many so fast I could not keep up with it. So I figured it was easier for me to just do a blanket thank you. I'm sorry it's a little more impersonal than answering the comments, but I would have been all day answering the comments like I would have wanted to, rather than just going through giving one word answers to everybody. So like I say, I have read them. Thank you for your thoughts. Thanks for the prayers. I did go yesterday. Actually, I spent most of yesterday looking at trucks. That was a waste of time. I went and looked at that V6 I talked about. Let's just say they did a really, 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 really good job of taking pictures. It wasn't terrible, but it was not what they described it either. The rockers had been replaced in it, and they did a very poor job. It had a core support put in it rather recently because there was still fresh paint where they welded the new core support in. The fuel tank door was rusted off almost. The back corners of the bed had been smashed in, and I'm assuming the rear bumper had been replaced because it was like the corners where the bumper kind of wraps around a little bit. They were smashed in there, so I don't know how you'd smash the bed without smashing the bumper. And then I'm not sure if all the truck manufacturers do this, but at least in that body style of GM, they had that little like piece of 1/4-inch round stock strut that goes from just above the fender well down to where the bedside rolls under and creates your fender. That was all bent, and it had been pulled out a little bit, and it was all, I don't know. It had an exhaust leak. It was not. It was a good $3,000 truck. It was not a good $9,000 truck like what they were asking, even in this market. And I wasn't too keen on the single. I don't know. I'm trying not to get too worked up about jumping on a truck because I don't just want to have a knee-jerk reaction because I need a truck. I want to buy something that I want. So I went and looked at that, and then actually, ironically, while I was there, another guy, after I decided I didn't want it, another guy pulled in and bought it while I was there. Apparently he needed a truck worse than I did. I would not have given him anywhere near. Anyway, so I went down. There was a Chevy dealer right down the road, so I stopped in there. That was a 2.5 hour waste of my life. That was my first legit. I mean, I've stopped in the dealers before, looked around, but that was my first legit, like, actual sit down with a salesman, talk things out, kind of. And my God, what I was so fucking annoyed and pissed off by the time I walked out of that place. It's like, all I want is for you to tell me what trucks you have on the used lot, give me prices, and give me what you can do for me as far as financing. That's all I fucking want. And he's trying to sell me a 2018 3/4 ton crew cab short bed, which, don't get me wrong, it was a sharp truck. It's that pearl white that GM uses, and it had chrome axle. It was a sharp truck, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't going to pay him no $54,000 for it. And he's trying to get me into a 2018 half ton, and I'm like, no, so yeah, that was a waste of time. Then I got home and I was looking at other trucks. I found a 2011 Duramax not too far from here. Not that I wanted a diesel, but it was a sharp truck. They only wanted $24,000 for it, which, unless it could have been another one of the deals where they did a really good job of taking pictures, but it was a sharp truck. It was the metallic gray, had a leveling kit on it, had aftermarket rims, but they were tasteful rims. They're not them ugly. They weren't those ugly ass things that you see kids putting on diesels and shit. It was a tastefully done truck. I liked it. It was a crew cab short bed, but for the price, it was kind of hard to argue for a diesel. So I called on that. Well, that thing had already sold. And then after that, I found a 2011 crew cab long bed, which I'm not too keen on the crew cab, but it would come in handy. And I got to looking at it and some of the dimensions. It's like, you know what? In that body style of Chevy, the cab and a half is so damn long that a crew cab is only, in all reality, about a foot longer. So the whole truck isn't really all that longer than a cab and a half. So, but they want 22 and some change for that. But I called right after they listed it, and they listed it before it actually hit their lot. Right now it's going through their service center, so it's not actually on the lot for viewing or anything like that yet. So they're supposed to, I got my name on that. They're supposed to call me midweek when it actually hits their lot. That one's, I can't remember what they call it. It's like snow white with black trim. It's not a bad looking truck either. I think it's got, I can't remember. I think it's got steel rims on it, which I would try if I would put different rims on it. It's got nice tires on it. It's got some pretty. I'd put them at a little. They're probably what would be considered an AT3, but they look a little bit more aggressive. So, but they're far from street tires, so they're nice tires. It's only got 100,000 miles on it, which for an 11 didn't seem that bad. Interior is really nice, so hopefully something comes of that. I thought I found, a buddy of mine actually texted me over by Auburn. He found me a red 2002 Chevy single cab long bed 6.0 full, basically the exact same truck I had, just red in a Chevy with single cab instead of cab and a half. Wanted 10.5 for that, which in today's in the market the way it is now, I mean, it was a clean truck in the pictures. The thing shined like a penny. Had brand new tires on it. It was a nice looking truck. Called on that. It had sold. And like I said in the other video, I was thinking about buying a half ton and just using that for a daily. But shit, the way the truck market is now, you could buy a 3/4 ton for the same price as a half ton. So you might as well buy a 3/4 ton. I don't know. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I didn't really want to get into the truck situation, but I could go on a full fucking rant about the truck market right now. It's stupid, but we won't. But mostly, I just wanted to thank everybody for the comments and kind words and whatnot on my wreck video. So anyhow, I spent the last 3 days thinking of that, and it's time to get my head out of that game for a little bit, because I've been driving myself nuts thinking about all this crap. So we're gonna get back into the shop. Got the tank back up here. I turned the heat up in the garage a little bit to try to get this thing better up to ambient temperature a little faster. It's warming up a fair bit. It's blowing and snowing and freezing ass cold again today, so but we got, this is supposed to be an aluminum acid deoxidizing compound, so hopefully that helps a little bit. And then Dad got some different rod, so hopefully we have a little bit better luck today. And hopefully by the end of the day, this thing will be sitting in the saddle so that I can quit carrying it around with a forklift, because carrying it around with a forklift is kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, we soaked it with the cleaner. It probably sat for 30 minutes. We hit it 2 or 3 times. It pulled a lot of crap out. It almost started, you wipe it off, the shit almost came off black, so hopefully that means it took something out. Well, through some trial and error and a little bit of struggle, we got everything sealed up. Had to switch tactics a little bit. This was the one we fought the worst by far. Probably a lot of it has to do with the fact that whatever they did to put this hole in it stressed this whole area so much. But we got all the leaks fixed. Basically what we ended up doing is Dad would lay the weld in, and then we'd pressure check it, find the leaks. And when I say leaks, I mean like these teeny tiny eensy little pinholes that basically made little micro bubbles that would just pile up. In all reality, they were so damn small that liquid probably never would have made it into them to begin with, but we were trying our best to get this sealed up good. So anyway, we get it to that point, and then take a center punch and center punch the hole, or center punch the pinhole, and usually that would make it stop leaking. And then take a ball peen hammer, and since aluminum is malleable enough, take the ball end of a ball peen hammer and start peening it out, and that stopped all the leaks. And then wire brushed it to kind of smooth everything back out. And then this damn thing right here, we had it fixed once, and there was a little pinhole back in here a little bit, and I went to take the center punch to center punch it so we could start peening it shut, and I whacked that thing one. I didn't even hit it all that hard, but it was enough of a crack, and that took that weld and split the damn thing again. I was pissed. But we got it sealed up. This one's sealed up good. No other leaks that we know of. Not to say that there more won't pop up later, but and then I got my new elbow and everything put on here because that old one was junk. I'm plumbing everything up to 2-inch. Obviously it doesn't do a whole lot of good since that's 1.5 inches coming out of the tank, but if we ever rebung this thing to put a 2-inch drop pipe in it, all my fittings will still work. So that's why I just went and upsized everything to 2-inch. So it's 2-inch from here all the way to the pump. But anyhow, had to put the elbow and everything on because once this is sitting in the cradle, you can't swing it. But and I had to change it. I ended up having, I dropped the center of this a little bit because I had to change this nipple, because the one that was in here before, they had crammed the thing in there so tight that they had oval or egged it. Most likely because we found out that at some point they sawzalled the nipple out of there because they sawzalled through the threads, and they must have just took that other one and crammed it in there hard or until it quit leaking, and that's why they oil canned it. But anyway, I'm gonna go up and get the gear and we'll get that thing sitting in the cradle and we can start working on the final steps here. Finally. Okay, well, it's in and strapped down, although I'm going to have to loosen it back up. I'm going to have to make some, I only had belting long enough to make, like, I got like 75% of the way around. I'm going to have to make some little pieces that cover down in here because the straps get really close to the side of the tank. Just some little, like, pads about yay big to keep it held back. But I got it tightened down that way while I'm moving it around. It doesn't sit in there and roll around and shit in the cradle, so... But other than that, I'm working on putting the sight gauge in here. I was able to find, before they just had a 1/4-inch sight gauge, but I was able to find some 1/4-inch NPT up to 1/2-inch hose, jump size hose barbs. And the worst part about this being an aluminum tank is the camera won't stick to it. Anyway, yeah, because the sight hose that they had in here, you couldn't see shit in because it was so small and I wanted it to jump up, so... They actually had one that was 1/4-inch NPT to 3/4 hose, but they only had one of them, so about 1/2 inch would be plenty big. Damn sight better than the little dink that was in there. I need to see if I could find something. This yellow stripe on the back used to be the level gauge, or like how many gallons were in it. And it looks like the graduations are not even. So you got 5, you got 14, 26, 40, 52, 72, 91, 110, 130, 151, 448, 501, 526, it looks like. You can kind of still read it up to about here. Then it gets all sun-baked, but it'd be nice to have a sticker on there again so you knew about how many gallon were in it, but I don't know where to find it. I should see if I should look up and see if the company's still in business. I doubt it, but you never know. If they were still in business, a guy could see about getting a sticker from them. Possibly. We are going to... I just realized you guys probably can't see shit. That's a bad angle. You can kind of see most of it. A little bit of schlickum. Oh, we got dish soap. Dish soap. That's not dish soap. That's Windex. The dish soap is out. Yeah, I guess we're using some Murphy's. Come here. Slimy shit. Just a little bit of slack in her. And we got clamps. Will that fit? That will fit, so we need 2 of these guys. And a little bit more slickum. Beauty, eh? Now we can spin the valve on. Quarter turn more. You can do it. Maybe. Good enough. And then my 90. Stay on there. know my dad hates this tape. It really does have no tack to it. Teflon tape's supposed to stick to itself to an extent. And there we go. Leave that cracked open a little bit so it doesn't hold any water. It shouldn't. There's no water in it, but better safe than sorry. But obviously this is the barb for the hose, and we'll come 90 out of there, come up over this frame rail. I'll probably make some sort of hook that uses this bolt hole, and it's like a half moon something that'll keep the hose from running into the tire, but something that'll come up and let the hose lay right here, and then head straight up to the pump. Now I'll have to hang the motor and pump on there so that I can get my hose length and get a piece of hose cut. And then after that, the only other thing I'll have to do is figure out how long of a piece of hose I need to fill into the planter and decide how I want to store it. Oh, and I'm gonna have to make a breather to put in that 2-inch bung there. So that the tank can ventilate itself when you're filling and pulling out. But it looks like something now, so making progress. The rest of the stuff's easy. So anyway, I gotta get stuff cleaned up and get ready to ski-daddle because I got plans for the night. So anyway, I guess I'll probably have to get this video uploaded in the morning, so you won't see it till tomorrow. But tomorrow, even though the roads are probably gonna be wet, I'm probably gonna bite the bullet and work on moving combines home, because I've only got a week left and I need to get that job out of the way. So because I'm supposed to some point this week have all my parts back for the T, so we can start putting that back together. And yeah, hopefully get some news on my truck and make progress on that fiasco at some point this week too would be ideal, but time will tell. So anyway, I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.